Morning, good afternoon. I'm Holly Willis. I'll be your substitute producer today. Candace's husband's having some health issues and she won't be with us, but we ask you to keep her in your thoughts and prayers. I want to thank you to Methodist Village for this beautiful spread you have here. Lovely, lovely. Thank you so much for hosting. Also to remind you that our next meeting is going to be December 16th, and it's going to be at Mercy Crest. And so we hope to see you there. And then our next coffee talk, I'm tall, so I have to. The next coffee talk is December 10th, and it's at the Van Buren Senior Center. Also, in the back here where you register, there's membership forms, there's sponsorship forms, there's our new directory. So please make sure you pick up those things when you go out, or hopefully you did when you came in. So I wanted to introduce our speaker today, but before I do that, I wanted to let you know you can go ahead and serve yourself lunch quietly while we want to be respectful of our speaker. His name is Mike Wallace. He's with Heartland Financial Services. So welcome, Mike. Thank you.
Desk, the sign-in desk, and the light switch is in there. Just reach around, take a step, you'll feel it in there. Feels like you're going in a dungeon, but you're not. We appreciate all of you being here and the opportunity to welcome and listen to Mike and Andrea and what they have to say. Please help yourself. It's lobster bits and it's chicken noodle soup, and then the sandwiches I think are one's chicken, one's ham, or maybe one's turkey, one's ham. One turkey, one ham. All right. So please help yourself. And there's water back here.
Okay, no, y'all are not going to bother me if you're in line or making noise. Can everybody hear me all right? I can talk loud if I need to, but I think I got a loud enough, big enough mouth for everybody to hear me. So, again, my name is Mike Lawless. I'm with Heartland Financial Group. I have my wife, Andrea. She's our administrator, and our training director, Samantha Stanley, with us today. And Heartland Financial, our main office is out of Kansas City, but our team is based out of Van Buren. We help with many different areas, especially in the senior market, as far as final expenses, retirement planning, and your Medicare. And Medicare is what we want to cover today. We're just going to do a basic Medicare 101. What is Medicare, how it works, and what are the options you have to partner with your original Medicare. And I know a lot of you are in the medical field, so you probably get asked questions about people's Medicare all the time. So having a better understanding of how it works is very valuable. So Medicare, can anybody tell me when Medicare started without looking down at your paper in front of you, because they kind of gave you the answer?
When it started?
What year Medicare started? Everybody's going to look down anyway. 1965. There you go. Yes. So, actually, federal health insurance was attempted back in 1945 by President Harry Truman, but it wasn't until 20 years later that Lyndon B. Johnson signed Medicare into law. And he traveled to the Truman Library, which is, I believe, right at four hours north of here in Independence, Missouri, to sign that into law. So original Medicare in 1965 was just Medicare A and B. And if you've ever seen your member's red, white, and blue card, it has a number on it, but then it has Part A, hospital. That's your hospital, inpatient hospital care, hospice, skilled nursing, stuff like that. So how Part A works is if they have worked and paid into Medicare for more than 10 years of their working life, then they are entitled to Medicare once they turn 65. There is no premium if they've worked and paid into Medicare for 10 years. And If you're short quarters, like 40 quarters, then there might be a premium. But anybody that has worked the full 10 years and paid in does not have a premium for Part A. How Part A works, if you don't have anything to go with it, to supplement it, if you were to go into the hospital, and these are 2025 numbers, they were just updated earlier this month, so I'll be looking back at my page to make sure I've got the right numbers coming out. But if you go into the hospital, whether you stay 1 day or 60 days, there's an automatic deductible of $1,676. Okay? And when you think deductible, you think, okay, that's a one-time annual cost. With Part A, it's not annual. It resets itself about every 60 days. So if you have a hospital stay and then you stay 1 or 2 days and then 3 months later you go again, you will be billed that deductible again. So it can hit multiple times a year. Once, if you have an extended stay, say you stay more than 60 days, starting day 61, there is a per day copay of $419 every single day, all the way up to 60. All the way up to 90. From 60 to 61 to 90 is $419 a day. And there's no cap. There's no magic number saying, hey, once they reach this, we don't bill them anymore. Let's say you stay more than 3 months. Day 91, you now have a $838 per day copay from then on. And so that's why we do what we do, and we help our customers and Medicare members find the best option for them to cover them from having all those costs. Then you have Part B. Part B is your medical, and it says it on the red, white, and blue. Part B medical, and it'll say the date as to which it started. Medical is your doctor visits, outpatient surgeries, tests, labs, procedures, stuff like that. That is the premium that comes out of a Medicare beneficiary Social Security check. And for 2025, that premium is $185 a month. This year it was $174. I think there's only 1 year since I've been doing this that it has actually gone down, and that was in 2023. So it goes up each year, and you hear it all the time. They give us a small cost of living increase, but then they raise our Medicare. So there's no winning there. So with Medicare Part B, if you just have original A and B, the way this works is you pay the monthly premium, and then you have an annual deductible. So the Part B is annually, not like Part A. Part B deductible is $257. So once you're paying the monthly premium, once you meet that deductible, that's where you hear the 80-20 split. That's where Medicare pays up to 80% of your medical costs, and you are billed the rest. Okay? So we talked about A and B. All of this started in 1965. That's all there was, just A and B for 15 years. In 1980, that's where option 1 down at the bottom came in. In 1980, they started offering Medicare supplement plans. Medicare supplement plans are private insurance companies where they have built a plan to help cover the gaps of original Medicare. It becomes the secondary. You have Part A and B as your primary, and your supplement as your secondary. These plans are standardized. What that means is Medicare says, okay, if it's a Plan F, a Plan G, a Plan N, whatever it is, because there's multiple plans, they have to be standardized. So a Plan G is a Plan G no matter which company you use. It has to pay the exact same way. Okay? And so you say, what's the difference? The difference is cost. Where if you're with United Healthcare, you might pay $120 for a Plan G today. Where if you go over and you have a plan with, say, Blue Cross and Blue Shield, or one of the bigger names, they might have a higher premium, but it is still the exact same plan. So it doesn't, the name doesn't matter. What matters is the plan. Is it a Plan G? Is it a Plan N? Okay? Plan Fs are what they consider the Cadillac of all plans, but if you're aging into Medicare after January 1st of 2020, a Plan F is no longer available. So a Plan G is the best plan to be on as far as the most coverage. How a Plan G works is you pay that monthly premium, whatever that premium is, and then you still pay your Part B deductible, which next year that's that $257, and then everything else is covered. You go into the hospital, you have a surgery, God forbid cancer rears its ugly head, you're paying that monthly premium, you have no out-of-pocket costs. So that's a really great option. The only thing about supplement plans is as you get older, your premium increases. And what we see a lot of is people getting into late 70s, early 80s, into their mid 80s, to where these supplement plans are really a financial burden, and it's hard for them to make those monthly premiums anymore, because what started at $120, $115 could be $300, $350. I've seen them even higher than that. Okay? So the supplement plans are only medical. There's no additional benefits to that. It's just medical insurance to supplement Medicare A and B. So in order to have full coverage and everything, you have to add what they call Part D. That's back up at the top. Part D is your drug coverage. That's also through private insurance companies. They're all different. They're not standardized like supplement plans are. So every company is different in whatever their premium, whatever premium they might charge, what co-pays they have implemented, and if there's a deductible. All the deductibles are different. So it's really, really important to shop those plans each year for our members. And if you have been in the medical field or you're working now and you're seeing Medicare beneficiaries, if they've mentioned Medicare this month, last month, they're talking about their drug coverage. And the reason for that is the Inflation Reduction Act that was passed in 2022 has several different phases. So in 23, that's when you started hearing about the $35 cap on covered insulins. Okay? That all came from the Inflation Reduction Act. Well, 2025 is really the biggest shakeup we've seen on the drug plans, because one, they've done away with one of the phases of Part D. So Part D this year has 4 phases. The deductible phase, of course, that's when, hey, you got to meet that deductible before the plan pays on certain tier drugs. After the deductible is met, you're in your initial phase. That's where you pay the co-pays of whatever's set forth. Like tier 1 might be a 0 copay or a $5 copay, but as you get into tiers 3, 4, and 5, those are your name brand drugs, so they're going to be much higher copay or co-insurance. So the third phase for 2024 and prior to has been the coverage gap, also known as the donut hole. Has anybody ever heard of anybody mention the donut hole? Okay, so the donut hole is the period of time, how you get to the donut hole. They take what the insurance company has paid on your medications plus what you paid out of pocket. And this year, that number is $5,030. So when those two numbers meet, what the insurance is covered and what you've paid out of pocket means $5,030. You go into what's called the donut hole, and that's where you pay 25% of name brand drugs. Okay, and that can be catastrophic. What you were used to paying a $47 copay for a tier 3, let's say Eliquis, you get into the donut hole and now you're paying close to $300 a month or more. So you can see where that really puts a strain on a lot of people on their drug coverage. So for 2025, they're doing away with the donut hole. There is no more donut hole, and there's a $2,000 cap on your out-of-pocket expenses. So, which is really, really good for those people that are used to meeting their donut hole. So, I have customers that they'll get into April or May, and now they've met that magic number, and they're in the donut hole paying 25% of their drugs for the rest of the year. So, not having the donut hole is very, very beneficial for a lot of people. But because of that, insurance companies have anticipated having to cover more of those drug costs because there's not that donut hole phase where they get a break. So, in turn, they've adjusted their drug plans and incorporated more deductibles and higher co-insurances and different things. So again, it's very, very important this year more than any other year that a Medicare beneficiary have a review done to make sure that they are still on the best plan for it. Okay? So Part D actually came about in 2006, the same time that Part C came out. Part C is what they call Medicare Advantage plans. Okay? Medicare Advantage plans are also private insurance companies, but they are near the opposite of the supplement in a lot of ways, where with the supplement plan you pay a monthly premium. The Advantage plan, there's typically no premium. If there's a premium at all, it's very minimal. The only difference is with your supplement, you pay the premium and most of your medical's covered after all your medical's covered after the deductible. With the Advantage plan, you have co-pays, and you basically pay as you use it. Think of it a lot like the insurance you might have today with your group coverage. You know, you're paying right now. If you have group coverage, you'll be paying a premium out of your payroll check, but the actual plan itself works the same as a Medicare Advantage plan. There's a network. You have an HMO or a PPO. So you have certain doctors you can see, certain facilities you can use, but you also have what they call the prior authorizations. Sometimes you have to get things approved. So it's very, very similar to group coverage in a way, but it comes with a lot of extra benefits. And this is why it's, again, very important to look at the whole plan, because these benefits, they could be dental. And so with the supplement plan, you don't have dental, vision, or hearing. With an Advantage plan, there are those benefits. And, I don't know if anybody's here is in the dental field, but dental is very important for our health. And so that is a concern for a lot of our seniors. So all of these plans also have what they call the maximum out of pocket. You know how I mentioned if you're just on Part A and B, there's no cap. They could be billed for hundreds of thousands or more depending on what has happened. If something major happens, they're going to get some very, very serious bills. With a Medicare Advantage plan, you're cutting the cost as far as their monthly on the supplement plan, or on the premiums, but the maximum out of pocket gives them a glass ceiling, basically saying, okay, if they reach $5,000 in out of pocket in a calendar year, that's all medical co-pays combined. So if they've seen so many specialists, it's so much to see a specialist. If they've had a hospital stay, it's so much per day for a set amount of days. If they reach that, for instance, $5,000 max out of pocket, they don't pay for any more medical the rest of the year. Okay, so it's basically a glass ceiling protecting them from getting hit with hundreds of thousands or more in medical bills. Okay, and I kind of jumped all over the page. I know I did. I've done this spiel so many times that I don't stay on track. But so I've covered A, B, and then fast forward to 1980. That's when the supplement plans came in. 2006, that's where your Part D drug plans and your Medicare Advantage plans came in. Does anybody have any questions on anything that I've shared?
Okay, so I know it's open enrollment currently, but when it's not open enrollment, when can somebody change from an advantage plan to a traditional Medicare?
There is certain special enrollments. Yes, you have your October 15th to December 7th period. That's where we're at right now. But anybody that's on Medicare can look at their plans and say, do I need to make a change? Or what's going to happen with my plan next year? And just be in the know. January 1st to March 31st is what they call open enrollment. And that's where anybody that's on a Medicare Advantage plan, let's say in this period we're in today, they made a change, okay? And that plan kicks in January 1st. They get 1-2 months in and they say, well, this is not the best plan for me. They have one opportunity to make a change the first quarter of the following year to another plan, okay? They can either switch to another Medicare Advantage plan or they can go back to original Medicare with a drug plan and possibly get a supplement plan, okay? One thing about supplement plans is if you're outside of your initial enrollment period, which is 3 months before you turn 65, the month of, and 3 months after, if you're outside that period and you're wanting to switch supplement plans, you do have to pass an underwriting process. So there are medical questions that you have to be approved to switch from one supplement or go back to a supplement at that time. With the Advantage plan, there's no pre-existing conditions. Anybody that's on original Medicare A and B can get on a Medicare's Advantage plan. So outside of March 31st, there are other options. They did make some changes on that for 2025. This year, if you were on Social Security's Extra Help Program, which is the low-income subsidy that helps with drug coverage, and I know I haven't covered that, so I don't even know if you guys know what I'm talking about, but if you're on that, this year you could have made a change once a quarter. Same with Medicare and Medicaid. If you have both Medicare and Medicaid, you could make a change once a quarter. Next year, they're taking away the quarterly option to change. But if let's say they have Medicare and Medicaid, and their Medicaid levels changes, like maybe they had a bump in their income, and so now they're not full Medicaid, but they're something else, or they lose their Medicaid. That creates a special enrollment period where they have a 2-month period to make a change at that time. There's one other common special enrollment period is if anybody has a chronic condition under either cardiovascular, congestive heart failure, or diabetic, any month in the year they can switch to a chronic special needs plan. And so what those are plans that are geared for people with those chronic conditions that give them a few extra benefits on those chronic conditions as well.
So they have to switch to a chronic, basically.
They can, they don't have to,
They
but
don't
yes,
have to.
yes. Any other questions? Yes.
Do you have any idea out of your clients the percentage of traditional Medicare versus an Advantage plan?
You mean as far as my customers are concerned, how many are on an Advantage plan as opposed to an original Medicare? I will say, and I do meet a lot of people that are uninformed because Medicare is a very complicated subject. Okay, there's a lot of moving parts and they change every single year. So, and as I was sharing before, this is our livelihood, this is what we do every day. Our members, they only think about their health care when they use it.
Right.
And so for them to understand all these changes and everything that's going on, it's near impossible. I do meet people that are just on original Medicare A and B, and they might have a drug plan, but no supplement. They don't anticipate, they might be very, very healthy, but they don't understand that, hey, if something major was to happen, they could be billed for who knows what. So if they're just on original Medicare and they don't have a supplement, then I would strongly urge anybody to at least get on a zero premium advantage plan to cover them just in case something was to happen. But if I was to put the numbers to it, I would probably say 30-70. 30% are on original Medicare with the supplement plan, and about 70%.
Is that because of the cost? The difference
Most
in
likely,
cost?
yes. Because as they get older, like I said, those premiums go up, and it becomes very, very hard. I have a couple, husband and wife. They're customers of mine. They've been customers for 3 years. When I met them in 22, they were both on a supplement plan, and they had never really looked at an advantage plan. And so when we broke it down and compared them side by side, they were paying over $800 a month between their 2 supplement plans and 2 drug plans. And we got them the advantage plan. So when you look at that, if they're paying $800 a month, that would be $7,200 a year, right? No, 9,600. I went the wrong way. 9,600 a year. Well, if their max out of pocket on an advantage plan is less than $5,000, that max out of pocket is a worst case scenario. There's no guarantee that they'll ever hit that, but they're already paying it in the supplement plans, and they're not getting all the extra benefits that they would get with the other. Does that make sense? No?
I hate advantage plans, so, and I know I can't be the only one in here
You're
that
not.
feels that way.
I promise you, you're not.
I mean, every day we deal with it, and then we hear our residents and their families like screaming at us over the table about, why do they have to have a pre-op? What in the world is that? They made it sound so good when they called mom and said A, B, C, D.
Yes.
And mom gave the verbal okay, and here we go. We're on an advantage plan now. Every day we deal with it. So I'm certain that there has to be some advantage to the advantage plan.
Yes.
And I was wondering if that was merely a monetary thing.
Most likely, I mean, and a lot of people do see the extra benefits as even more than the saving the monthly. But I'll agree with you. There are extra steps you got to go through on a Medicare Advantage plan, and that's why I'm a fan of both. I mean, if someone is on a supplement plan and they can afford it and it's not putting a strain on them, it's going to be the best for them. But you also meet people who are paying upwards to $300 and $350 that might see their doctor once a month or once a year and taking a couple of generic medications, and they look at okay, I'm paying this much, but I could be with this and not have this cost. And there's other options. So with the out-of-pocket on a advantage plan, the most common that's going to be the more expensive is a hospital stay, unless there's a cancer diagnosis.
Sure.
Okay, so we have a plan. It's called a hospital indemnity plan that we build to match the plan that they're on. So in the event of cancer, a hospital stay, or even an ER visit, this plan is going to pay a check to them to cover those copays. And now we've taken a $350 monthly premium that they're paying on a supplement plan, have them on a zero premium advantage plan, and they might be paying $40 for this extra plan just to cover the in case something happens. So I get it. I know there's, with prior authorizations, it can be a very sticky process. And with long-term care, a lot of advantage plans, they don't work with nursing homes and long-term care facilities. So, I mean, I have found some that do, but in most cases, and I've had a couple people call me this month. Hey, I put my mom in a nursing home, and they're telling me that she doesn't need this advantage plan, Now granted, she has Medicaid, and most of the time they do when they go in, unless there's the financial stability to cover. But in most cases, you've got that spin down and they get on Medicaid. If it's Medicaid and Medicare, then everything's gonna be covered just between the two of them. And so an Advantage plan might just make things worse. It's a case-by-case basis.
Yeah,
It
it
honestly
is. There's no one right answer.
Right?
How
Good question.
often do you get callbacks from your clients about the Advantage plans not approving services for them?
It does happen, and a lot of times it's us calling the insurance company. I've done this multiple times. I'll call the insurance company with documentation of what they're needing done, and it's really just explaining it. Yes, it's extra legwork, but in the end, it's a lot of times it still gets covered.
On the front end or on the back end, like if they receive a bill? That you are able to make those calls. You know, I think a lot of times we see it on the front end where insurance isn't going to approve a certain service. I was wondering if your experience has been more on the back end where maybe they did take that patient to do the service and now they're getting a bill and you're able to get that covered. Do you ever see anything on the front end too?
Yes.
Okay.
I get both front and back. In fact, I have some customers of mine that he had to go to Little Rock, and they got a $76,000 bill in the mail. And first off, they sent me that, and they're freaking out. But when their plan had a max out of pocket of $5,700, there's no way that they could be billed $75,000. So that, what ended up happening is that they just didn't bill it right. And that's what happens most of the time when something doesn't get covered. I know there's a lot of codes, and I don't know anything about coding, but there's a lot of codes that if the wrong one's put down, then it throws up a...
Don't worry, it'll change in 6 months. You'll learn it.
Much like
It's
that.
always changing.
But great questions. Anybody have anything else? Yes, ma'am.
Any comment about when you don't get a Part D drug coverage, how you're penalized?
Okay, yes, that's a good question too. And I wish Social Security would do a better job of explaining this to someone aging into Medicare, because if you have Medicare A and B, you have 63 days to get on a drug plan.
Even if you don't take any?
Even if you don't take any drugs, unless
So
you
from the
have
time you sign up, you have 60.
63 days, yes. I mean, 63 days from the day your Medicare is effective.
Okay.
So it's usually the first of the month of your birthday, on your 65th birthday. So the way that works is if you don't have any type of other creditable coverage, say maybe VA is considered creditable coverage on drugs, or you're still working and you have a plan through your job, so that would be creditable insurance. If you don't have anything like that, after 63 days, they start charging they impose a 1% national average. So if 1% of a standard Part D drug plan is, say, $35 a month, that would be 35 cents for every month you didn't have it. Okay? And so once you do get on a drug plan, that's where that penalty kicks in. So, I mean, I have a customer that went 10 years without any drug coverage because he never took any medication. Now he's 75 years old and he needs drug coverage. Well, now he's got a $35 or $40 penalty that he's going to pay the rest of his life. And again, there's plans out there. In fact, this year there's a plan for 2025 that is a zero premium plan. So there's no reason not to have a Part D drug plan. With the Advantage plan, drug coverage is included in most plans. They're built in, so it's not two separate things. It's an all-in-one. Okay, but if someone's aging into Medicare and they don't take any medications, they need to go ahead and enroll into a drug plan, even if it's a zero premium drug plan, just to avoid a penalty if they later need it.
I have a question. If somebody is currently on a Plan F,
Yes,
I know that's going away, but if they're gonna get to keep it if they already have it, right?
yes, it actually, so if they aged in prior to January 1st, 2020, and they're on a Plan F, they can actually still switch to another Plan F if they can medically qualify. And they can still, they can still enroll into a Plan F, even though it's past
I'm not kidding
2020.
about that being a Cadillac, that's an excellent plan.
It is, but you're paying for that Cadillac too.
Yeah, but
so-
it's worth it.
It is.
It's worth it.
Yes, if you can afford it, yes, absolutely. Because with the Plan F, you pay the monthly premium, there's no deductible, and it covers anything that happens,
skip that letter.
no matter what, on medical. So,
In general, what does that monthly premium look like?
I've seen it,
Okay, then, around 300.
it depends on age too. So if you're on a Plan F and you're pushing 80, you're probably closer to the 400 mark.
Yeah, but stroke, went to rehab at Encompass, then came here for 60 days, $0.
Yes, absolutely.
And so
It is.
why did they get rid of that?
I'll tell you what,
I think they in
on the supplement side, you'll see a lot, and I've done this back when they started backing off of that Plan F. I would meet people that were paying the high premium, and they switched to a Plan G. The only difference is that Part B deductible. If the difference in premium is close to $100, well, they've met that deductible in 3 months. In
So
savings.
that's what Plan G is.
Yes.
Is with Plan F
It's
with
an
the
F with
little
the deductible.
deductible. That's really bad.
Yep. Yes, no, I agree, it is the Cadillac. Well, guys, that was a lot of great questions. Anything else? I appreciate everybody listening. I hope I didn't muddy the waters or confuse anybody. All right, thanks, guys.
Okay, it's time to come up and introduce yourselves and,
Somebody may not have everybody signed in.
oh, if you haven't signed in, please sign in.
Yeah.
And also, I'd like for a Methodist representative to probably come first and talk about, their organization, since y'all are sponsored. Thank you.
Hey guys, for those of you that I don't know or don't know me, I'm Stacy Bell, and I'm the marketer here, and help with admissions when, you know, how I can get 6 in a day, and one person just can't do that. I love working here. I will just be honest with you, we've all been in facilities where you don't feel the love, and you feel the love here. You walk in our halls, and our residents are happy for the most part. Our staff's happy, our staff loves taking care of our residents, and it shows. So we have a continuum of care. You can come in the independent living apartments, pay rent, live here. Then if you have some health needs and you feel like you need a little more oversight, I guess would be the word, then you can, come to one of our assisted living. So our building, the assisted living, if you haven't been through it, go see it. It is beautiful. We're very proud. And the people, our residents, love being here. Then let's say you have a fallen or break a hip, or we have long-term care or skilled services. So that's in our care center, which is attached by our stairs and down the hall. And then we have 2 dementia units that, one is, I think we opened this in the end of September.
The sanctuary?
Yes.
Yeah, it's actually been open for 2 or 3 years, but we just converted it into the sensory sanctuary.
So that's another one that I encourage you to go see, but don't we have new on that hall?
Yeah, it's going.
come back in a week or so when we're not under quarantine and take a tour. If you guys want to see it and you can't today, holler at me, call me. I'd love to give you a tour and show you, just why we're so proud of our facility and our staff and our residents. Thank you guys for coming. I do want to brag just a little bit on our food services department. They did an amazing job. I got a couple of pictures and I'm going to toot their horn because they did a really good job. Thank each and one of you for coming. I hope the presentation wasn't too bad. We'll do it all next time.
Alright, so we're gonna go ahead and move on to get a little bit elevator talk to introduce ourselves. My name is Ashley. I'm a board member for Senior Care Alliance, which just to let you guys know, it's an awesome opportunity to be part of the board, and we have a lot of fun and we have great conversation and be able to help our seniors. So it's just a blessing to be a part of this team. My day job, I work for Mercy Rehab Hospital. We're a 50-bed inpatient rehab. What we do is we try to keep seniors as independent as possible. So if you know anybody that's fallen a lot weak in and out of the hospital, maybe had a total knee done, any kind of ortho surgery, you can have them call us on their own. It does not require physician referral. They come into our hospital, get 3 hours a day of therapy. I know that sounds like a lot, but it's broken down into small increments. And of course, they're ADLs, and that is a part of their therapy. And you would be surprised how much of that we use and we don't realize is considered as therapy. But once again, our goal is to get those people as independent as possible and get them back home to where that way they can be home for the holidays. But they can call me at 479-957-1700, and we make sure to send them home with home health agencies, caregiver agencies, and of course we try to consult all of you guys. And if there's anything we can do to help you, please let us know.
Who's next?
Hello, I'm Sarah with Home Instead, and we do in-home care. That's very wobbly.
Yes,
Do
it
that.
is.
And so we are in Methodist, and we take care of some people here and absolutely love it. Thank y'all for the lunch. It was fabulous. And we are doing a Via Santa to a senior. And so if any of y'all is like an angel tree and you do it for the seniors, so if any of y'all want to pick up one of those angels, Mercy Rehab has a tree, MediSave on Zero has a tree, and then the credit union over Guadalajara, and then the one in Van Buren. They all have trees. And so
Where do they get the names from?
we get the names. Several of them are our clients that are on Medicaid and just we see a struggle and they need items, and then the rest of them are from the clearinghouse here in Fort Smith. And so we combine with them, and we'll pick up all the gifts on the 16th of next month. We have a wrapping party at our office. We wrap them all, make sure they have everything they need. If not, we'll go get it for them, and then we deliver them all. And it's such an exciting day when we get to deliver and see their faces and see what a blessing it is to them. So if you want to take part in that, we'd love to have you join us. So if y'all have any questions or need Home Instead, my number is 479-651-315. Thank you.
Good afternoon. I'm Teresa. I'm from Van Buren Legacy Heights, of course, in Van Buren. We have an independent retirement living. It's a senior community. We're all like family. Look out for each other. They have some fun times in their activities and their outings. And then we also have 3 memory care units that are secure with 24-hour nurse and aide care. And they have a lot of fun also. So it's a family type atmosphere. We have a lot of love. When you come in, you'll fall in love. But also thank you Methodist for the work. What?
I said they have great food too.
Oh.
Always smells
Well,
so
they
good in
have
there.
awesome food. Thank you so much for that. And happy Thanksgiving to everyone. And we're going to have an open house on December the 12th. It's a Thursday afternoon and evening from 2 to 6. So if anybody would like to pop in, and we'll have some appetizers, and we're going to have a little music, and we'll give tours. And we are going to have you vote for, the residents are wanting to decorate their apartments and outside their apartments. So we're gonna have you vote for the best decorated Christmas apartment.
Will you say that date again and time?
We're gonna have a flyer and we're gonna post it on Facebook, but it's, December the 12th. It's a Thursday from 2 to 6. And if y'all want a tour, my number is 479-262-6466. Thank y'all.
Hi, I'm Leslie Harrison. I'm with WM Health and Wellness. I'm a licensed clinical social worker. I provide therapy to seniors and caregivers, also anyone that wants it, but I prefer seniors and caregivers. I am located on Old Greenwood Road, across from that McDonald's. My phone number is 479-274-8847.
Hello, I'm Tanya Hagler with Elite Home Health. We provide skilled nursing services in the home, so anybody with IV antibiotics, wound care, any type of medication, education, we can do that. Physical therapy, occupational therapy, speech therapy. You can reach us at 479-494-7273.
Hello, Brittany with Cardiff Hospice. Just to kind of bridge off of our insurance conversation, you know, the hospice benefit, when that's elected, is paid by Part A. That's how hospice is able to provide all the extra resources, equipment, medications. A lot of times we do see people who have had that financial barrier and not be able to afford their medications, become non-compliant because of it, and they get the hospice benefit. We're able to provide those medications, and it's helped their quality of life quite a bit. So palliative care is paid as a specialist, so Part B. So that's kind of the differences. There's a big difference. A lot of people use that word interchangeably. So if you have any questions, you can call me at 479-462-7932. Somebody's got it.
I'm Louise Sponhurst, and I'm the Secretary of Senior Care Alliance. But at the same time, I'm also a volunteer for the Alzheimer's Association. And so now we have 3 support groups in the River Valley. So it's pretty exciting to provide that support. We have quite a few that come to the monthly meeting. All 3 of them are the second week of every month. We have one at Legacy Heights, Memory Lane, on Wednesday at 6 p.m. We have one that meets at the Blue Cross Blue Shield building on Old Greenwood Road. It's at Thursdays at 4 p.m. And we're starting one. We have had one meeting at Mercy Crest, and that meeting's on Tuesdays at 1 p.m. So I've got flyers. If you want to pick one of these up, share them with friends and family. It's so important for these families that are caregivers to have support. So my number is 479-353-1864. It's on all the flyers. That's my personal number, and you're welcome to provide that to families. Anybody else?
Nobody else? Just to tag on what Louise is saying, Louise and I both serve on the Alzheimer's Association Committee, and we are just a tad short of hitting our goal for the end of this year. And so if you have any extra donation money before you want to claim it for your taxes, please think about the Alzheimer's Association, and you can just log on to alzheimersassociation.org. And then if you want to specifically donate to something in the River Valley, see me, because I can give you a QR code. Not for my donation, but for the Alzheimer's Association. So anyway, hope you guys will think about that. Our next meeting is going to be at Mercy Crest on the 16th, and our next coffee talk is December